I took the night job because it paid better than anything else I could find. That was the only reason. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. The job posting was vague. Overnight security, minimal responsibilities, quiet hours, no experience required. The pay was nearly double what I earned during the day. I didn't ask questions. I needed the money. And sitting alone at night didn't bother me. I've always preferred quiet. The building was an old municipal archive on the edge of town. No public access, no staff after hours. Just offices that hadn't been used in years and rows of records no one cared about anymore. Deeds, permits, maps, files that had outlived their purpose. The man who interviewed me seemed oddly relieved when I accepted. "Most people don't last," he said, smiling in a way that didn't quite reach his eyes. I assumed he meant boredom. My shift started at midnight. The routine was simple. Sign in, take the keys, walk the ground floor once an hour, check the stairwells, sit in the security office and watch the monitors. There were only 6 cameras. All of them showed empty hallways. The building had a smell, paper, dust, and something faintly metallic, like old rain trapped in concrete. Every sound felt louder than it should have been. But nothing happened. Not the first night. Not the second. By the third night, I settled into the rhythm. Coffee, a book I never really read, long stretches of silence. That was the night I noticed the door. It was at the end of the east hallway, beyond the last row of shelving. Plain, gray, unmarked. No sign, no handle label, no number. I stopped walking. I knew that hallway. I'd walked it every hour since I started. The wall at that end was supposed to be blank. When I checked the camera feed, the hallway ended exactly as I remembered. No door. I walked back down the hall. The door was there. I stood in front of it for a long time, trying to explain it away. Perspective, fatigue, shadows. But the longer I looked at it, the more wrong it felt. The door didn't reflect the light correctly, and the air around it felt thicker, colder, muted. It wasn't locked, but I didn't open it. When my shift ended, I went straight home and fell on the bed, exhausted. I dreamed of hallways that stretched too far and doors that led nowhere. On the 4th night, the door was gone. Relief washed over me until I checked the monitors. Camera 3, covering the east hallway, showed the door clearly. It didn't flicker. It didn't distort. It was just there. When I walked the hall, there was nothing but a wall. From then on, things changed. Small things at first. A chair slightly out of place, lights flickering only when I wasn't looking directly at them, footsteps on the upper floor that stopped the moment I reached the stairs. I told myself it was stress. Long hours alone can do very strange things to the mind. I found a logbook in one of the drawers of the security desk. Most entries were routine, all clear, no incidents. But older pages told a different story. Some entries were scratched out violently. Others ended mid-sentence. One line stood out. "It knows when you're watching." There was no name beside it. On the 6th night, the door returned. This time it was closer, halfway down the hall, where the vending machines used to be. I knew because faint outlines still marked the floor. The cameras didn't show it anymore. The building felt attentive, like it was waiting. I skipped my patrol that hour. I stayed in the security office, staring down the hallway, heart pounding. My calls to the supervisor went unanswered. I texted him, but they didn't go through. On the seventh night, I almost didn't come back. But I needed the money. The building felt heavier when I arrived. Not darker, heavier. The silence pressed in on me. The door was directly outside the security office. I don't remember walking toward it. I only remember realizing I was standing in front of it. Up close, it looked older than the building itself. The paint was cracked, the handle worn smooth as if countless hands had passed over it. There was no reflection in the metal. I peeked into the security office. The monitors flickered, but every camera showed the same image. The hallway outside the security office. Empty. No door. No me. Just empty space. I stepped back slowly. The door opened on its own. Inside wasn't a room. It was the building. But wrong. The shelves stretched impossibly high. The lights buzzed louder. The air felt thin, like breathing through fabric. And then I heard it. Breathing. Slow. Deliberate. Patient. I shut the door. The building screamed, not with sound, with pressure. Walls flexed, lights surged and dimmed, the monitors went blank, one by one. I had enough, so I ran. I didn't grab my keys, I didn't follow protocol. I ran until I was outside, gasping, staring at a building that looked perfectly normal. I never went back there. When I tried to collect my final paycheck, the city told me the position had been vacant for months. No supervisor currently assigned to that building. The building had been sealed after inspectors found structural inconsistencies. Now, when I pass that part of town, I don't look at the building. But sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I hear a faint buzzing behind me. And I know, without turning around, that there's a door nearby, waiting.